Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own Camera Obscura from a Pringles can. Empty Pringles can, of course. First, your materials. You need an empty Pringles can, scissors, some waxed paper if your Pringles can lid is clear, like this one is, a ruler, pencil, electrical tape, an X-Acto knife or utility knife, and a thumbtack. That's it. This is a quick, easy way to see how the Camera Obscura effect works. First, you need to cut your empty Pringles can into two pieces. A short piece at the end, where the metal bottom is, and a long piece, that's the open tube. So, take your ruler and measure about 2 inches from the metal bottom to the end of the ruler, and go all the way around. You don't have to be too precise here, but take as much care as you can to make a nice circle. You just want something kind of even. If it's not perfect, that's okay. You can make it up for it later. Just go all the way around until your lines meet. Alright, and once they're in contact, it's pretty faint. You probably can't see it in the camera, but there's a line all the way around. You take your utility knife or your X-Acto, whichever you have, and cut through the Pringles can, which is relatively soft. But always be careful when you're using a sharp edge like an X-Acto. Just take your time, be extra careful, and follow your line all the way around. Again, it doesn't have to be completely perfect, but be as precise as you can. Alright, and you see what we've got there. A few crumbs still. Got a really short end and a really long end. That's empty. Now next, you want to put your lid on the small end, but it's clear, and you need some sort of semi-opaque material there so that the Camera Obscura effect will work and you can see it shining. So I like to use waxed paper. It's simple, easy to use, most people have it, but you can certainly use tracing paper or vellum or anything you have around like that. So cut a small square, just a small portion of the waxed paper. That'll fit over it, like that, and then put your lid on top. Now it'll kind of crinkle it up, that's okay, it doesn't really matter. And then just take your scissors or your X-Acto or what have you, and just trim the excess right off. Get rid of all that extra. And you want to keep your hands kind of pushing down on that at this point, because if it pops off, it'll be really hard to get that back on. And the wax paper too. And just take your black electrical tape, peel it up, and then put a nice strong strip of tape down, and tape that lid and wax paper to the small end of the Pringles can. Like that. It's just going to hold everything down, be nice and firm. Trim off the edge, and there you have it. Alright, next, you'll take the piece that you cut off the longer end, and you'll put it right there on top. So you'll combine those two pieces. Now, since mine's not quite a perfect circle, I might try to trim this a little bit so it sits a little flush, a little more flush. Just have a couple of ridges there. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to be relatively straight. Once that's done, you want to combine those two pieces. So again, take your black tape. You can either lay it down, stand it up, whatever you're most comfortable with, and tape these two pieces together. Now it's not going to be a super strong bond since those two things don't line up perfectly, but it's going to hold it in place, and that's all you really need. I like to double this up. Don't be shy with the tape. Use as much as you feel like. Make it good and tight and strong. You mostly want to keep all the light from getting in around that area. Trim off your excess tape there with your scissors or your knife, and voila, there you go. So you have a small end, the lid's right here, and you have a longer end here that you look down. Then the last step is to find the center of your metal bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect, I just kind of eyeball it, take my pencil and make a small mark where I think the center is, and that looks pretty close. And take the thumbtack and just find the center again, poke a hole right in the bottom, all the way through. Again, be careful because this is sharp. Alright, so you've got a hole, you've got your lid with the wax paper, and you've got a long dark viewing area. Now what you're going to do is hold this end up to your eye, kind of cupping it, and you'll point this end at bright objects, either in the room, at a lamp, or if you're outdoors, which is even better, you can point it right at the sun and look through this and see what you see. Just look at a lot of different things, look at things in motion, keep this in motion, see how the Obscura effect works on the inside. So the light will pass through here, be projected onto this screen, and you'll be able to see it through this darkened space. Alright, so this is kind of an easy, fun project to see how a Camera Obscura works, but after this, once you've figured that out, I want you to design and make your own. So I want you to use materials that you find or construct to make your own Camera Obscura and see how it works, become a little bit more familiar with it. And in this case, some Camera Obscuras, if you do some research and even look online for some of the links I post, some Camera Obscuras have lenses. That's fine, but don't worry about that for right now. Just use this real simple method. You can see one here that I built out of wood that uses actually the same exact concept. So you have this metal shim here, a hole drilled through it, it's a little more precise, and I have a piece of frosted glass in the center and this long viewing area, and you would look through. So this design came from this design. So try it out, see what you think, post pictures of your final product, and point your camera down the end and show us what you see through it. And then do the same for the one you design and build. Alright, have a great week, can't wait to see what you do.